Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into Nvidia's latest earnings call. We're going to focus on CEO Jensen Huang's opening remarks because they really paint a fascinating picture of where AI is heading.
All right, here's the plan. We'll start with all this talk about an AI bubble. Then we'll break down 3 huge shifts Nvidia sees happening. And finally, we'll look at how they see themselves at the absolute center of it all.
Okay, first up, let's tackle the elephant in the room. All that market chatter around AI.
So right out of the gate, Jensen Huang addresses this AI bubble idea head-on. He basically says, look, from where we're sitting, inside the industry, it's not a bubble at all. He's framing this as something much, much deeper, a real structural change, not just hype.
Okay, that's a pretty bold statement, right? And it immediately makes you wonder, well, if it's not a bubble, then what is it? And according to Huang, the answer isn't just one thing. It's actually a few massive technological shifts all hitting at the exact same time.
So let's get into that first big shift. You can think of this as the bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about. For decades, we've all counted on Moore's Law to make our computers faster and cheaper every year, but that engine is really slowing down. So the first huge shift is moving away from those all-purpose CPUs, the brains of computers for ages, to these super specialized GPUs. It's like swapping a Swiss Army knife for a high-powered surgical tool. It's a completely different way of thinking about computing.
And here's the kicker. This is not just an AI thing. Not at all. We're talking about a market worth hundreds of billions of dollars. All this existing software for scientific research, data analysis, you name it, it's all moving over to this new model to run way more efficiently. This touches practically every industry out there, not just the flashy AI startups. So the bottom line here is, this isn't something that's going to happen. Huang is basically saying it's already here. We've hit the tipping point. This is the new normal, the new baseline for computing. All right, so you've got that new foundation. Now let's talk about the second shift. And this is the one everybody's been talking about, generative AI. Huang's point here is that this is way bigger than just creating some cool new apps. He describes it almost like performing a heart transplant on the internet itself. All these huge, billion-dollar industries are getting their core engines ripped out and replaced with something way more powerful.
I mean, just think about it. The absolute core of how the biggest internet companies work. Things like search rankings, recommendation engines, how ads are targeted. All that behind-the-scenes stuff is being completely overhauled with generative AI. And this isn't just theory. There's real money here. Huang points to Meta as a perfect example. They rolled out a new recommendation model based on this tech, and boom, ad conversions on Instagram jumped. That's a direct line from this technology straight to the bottom line.
Now for the third shift. This is where things start to feel a little like sci-fi, and it's what Huang thinks will create whole new industries pretty much out of thin air. So this is where AI goes from being a content creator to being an assistant. We're talking about AI that doesn't just write an email for you, but can actually reason, plan, and then go and do a whole series of tasks to get something done.
And the process he lays out is actually pretty simple. First, the AI understands what you want. Second, it breaks that down into a step-by-step plan. And third, it actually goes and uses other apps or tools to execute that plan. Basically, an autonomous digital assistant.
And again, this is already happening. We're seeing it pop up in really complex fields. You've got AI helping developers write code, helping doctors read scans, even helping lawyers with research. And of course, the big one, autonomous driving. Every single one of these is a massive industry, getting a complete makeover. So, okay, we've got these 3 huge waves all crashing at the same time. The big question is, where does Nvidia fit into all of this? So let's just recap it all. You've got the foundational layer, which is accelerated computing. Then you have the transformational layer, with generative AI upgrading existing industries. And on top of that, you have the revolutionary layer, agentic AI, building totally new markets. 3 distinct but connected shifts. And this right here brings us to the absolute core of Nvidia's entire pitch. Their argument is that one single architecture, their platform, is the key that unlocks all 3 of these transitions. It's the common thread that runs through everything.
So if there's one thing to take away from Huang's vision, it's this. They're not just trying to sell a piece of the puzzle. They're selling the whole board. One unified platform for everything from the cloud to robotics, for every phase of AI. It's their answer for why they're not just a part of this revolution, but why they are absolutely essential to it.
It's a really compelling story, isn't it? They've laid out this grand vision that puts them right at the center of everything. And it leaves you with a really big question. As this all unfolds, will one single architecture really be able to power the entire future of AI?